Happy Monday, everyone, and more importantly, Happy New Year. It's time for another live commentary. Today, we're looking at a bout from the round of 32 at the Turin Grand Prix. This one was especially intriguing to me, not least of which because it features Ben Kleibrink, who, if you haven't seen his bout with Yuki Ota from the finals at the Beijing Olympics, that's basically required viewing for anyone who wants to be a foilist. So definitely go check out that bout if you haven't. But in the meantime, we're seeing him here facing off against Cheung, an upcoming, recently junior. I believe he's been 20 for like 3 months now, so he's still very young. So this is going to be very much a face-off between the old school and the new school styles of foil fencing. So let's get right into this bout. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, and begin. Note how I'm not adjusting the volume. That's because I actually tested out the volume before I started recording this. Haha. So we're going to get things underway. Cheung represents Hong Kong. He's quite tall. I talked about him briefly in my Rio bouts. I still have to cover his bout with Toldo. In fact, in the round of 64, he beat Guilherme Toldo at this tournament, starting things off nicely with what looked like a parry riposte, or possibly attack no attack. I would call him the favorite here, just because Kleibrink, he peaked in like 2007, 2008. He hasn't put out that many great results since then. He's still obviously very strong, but Cheung does find a way through with that long withheld attack. Cheung's been on the rise recently. It's been pretty meteoric. Rio was probably not quite the first, but certainly one of the most notable in a string of recent victories he's had. Another beat attack parry riposte there from Cheung. So very early lead, very fast. Kleibrink is very well known for his tactical acumen though, so we'll see if he'll be able to find a way to change up what he's doing. Parry riposte off target. Kleibrink goes for the twisty remise, but no dice. Now, a lot of German fencers you'll see do like these kind of body contorting type of counterattacks and remises. Kleibrink is no exception, but he's very, at least as I remember, I have not actually seen him fence in a very long time, but as I can remember, he's very judicious about how he actually uses those. Someone like Peter Yapik will just do them by default because that's how he counterattacks. But Kleibrink will often make a conscious choice of, do I decide to step in and twist, or do I decide to just step in with no twist? Point in line set up from Cheung. It's fairly common to see taller fencers doing this sort of thing. If you have the blade out, increases your chances of landing a stop hit dramatically. Here is counterattacks off target. Kleibrink has stopped the very fast hemorrhage of touches that was happening just now. He's going a little bit slower with his attack. There's a nice finish. Drops down to finish to Cheung's flank. This is a lefty versus lefty bout. Although at this level, whether or not you're lefty or righty does not matter too much. But lefty versus lefty is rather annoying to fence, no matter who you are. Interesting. Call still goes to Cheung. He was attacking, but very, very slowly. We'll see if the referee overturns this. I'd lean towards Cheung on this one. But perhaps Kleibrink's explosiveness was enough to take it over. I do know who wins this, but I won't spoil it this time. Referee's having a very long look. Let's see. Call is still Cheung's attack. Okay. I guess that's to be expected. And here we go again. Cheung again puts out point in line. Now it's... Oh, wow. Okay. So yeah, puts out point in line, withdraws the blade. That entices Kleibrink to take an extra step forward, and then Cheung just puts the point right back on for his counterattack. Very nice setup. It's looking like Kleibrink might have some trouble breaking inside that distance from Cheung. Again, right there. Kleibrink's attack kind of peters out, and Cheung just takes it over. So early on, this is looking fairly one-sided. This bout is pretty long, though. I think it was like 24 minutes when I looked at the timestamp. So there's still plenty of time left to play around, figure out what's what. That point in line from Cheung means Kleibrink can't posture as aggressively as he wants to. He's got to make sure he knows where the blade is. That stop hit is so deadly. Cheung's attack, a little too withheld this time. Kleibrink manages to counterattack, and by the time Cheung's ready to finish, Kleibrink is closing out in 4. Again, point in line from Cheung. If it's not stopped working, why not keep doing it? And this time he uses it to set up parry riposte. Actually, I think I talked about this tactic a little bit when I talked about Miles versus Akmat Kuzin in the Rio video. The point line setup is great, especially if you have the height advantage. Attack right, yeah, I agree. Kleibrink still wants video. That time it may have been his parry, but probably not, I think. But yeah, point line setup is great, especially if you have a slight height advantage, or if you're looking to threaten a lot of stop hits. Both because if your opponent stops... Oh, black screen there for a sec. If your opponent stops and they focus too much on searching and not enough on finishing, you can just attack. If they come a little bit too aggressively on your blade, you can counterattack. And even if they do everything right and they attack at the perfect time, theoretically you still have enough space to step back, parry, riposte. So Cheung is using all three of those options to great effect against Kleibrink. The call was reversed, so I guess it was there was blade contact there from Kleibrink. Again, as soon as he sees the blade, Kleibrink's taking it. He doesn't want to give Cheung too long to set up whatever he wants to set up. But it also looks like Kleibrink's a little hesitant to actually finish his attack. He's had a few decent chances so far, but he's waiting for the perfect moment. Now Cheung starts to attack. Kleibrink also kind of using that pointed line setup. Cheung puts on immense pressure. Maybe he stepped off the strip, but the ref did not see it. Will there be turning the back? Because I could kind of see the back of Kleibrink's head. If I can, then that means Cheung probably was, because Kleibrink was almost right behind him. Referee is going to look at the video again, but yeah, I don't know. Looks like youth and enthusiasm may win out over age and experience this time. That if Kleibrink ends up not getting yellow carded, that was a very nice touch by him, I will admit. Actually, in the Beijing final, he was infighting pretty much to a standstill with Yuki Ota, which is a no mean feat in and of itself. He still got that hand speed. But it's a case of can he break into the distance and use it, because Cheung's been very nice at keeping him at bay with this point in line. And even attacking, it's very hard to counterattack into Cheung. He's very long and lanky. He can find a way to angle that point on from almost anywhere. It's maybe not quite as successful using that as, say, Alex Macialis, but very few are. And also, we're kind of seeing a convergence of different styles here as well. Cheung is very marchy, usually. He has lots of different tempos and lots of types of finishes he can do, but it's almost always preceded by some sort of withheld march. Kleibrink likes to be on the blade more when he attacks. Although, as I say that, he's kind of marching here. Although, as soon as Cheung puts out the line, Kleibrink's immediately searching for it. Or at least hesitating a bit, to make sure that Cheung can't find that right distance to attack himself. Now Cheung marches, his blade's way back. Kleibrink attacks on the blade, manages to get in, okay. So yeah, Kleibrink can get in the distance safely by that, I guess you could call it a flush, maybe more of a running attack. But from that angle, from that really deep 4 position, it's very hard to put the point on. Cheung's attack off target here. Only about 20 seconds left in the first period. Things have slowed down pretty a lot. Again, he can step inside the distance and get past, but he can't find a way to turn a light on once he does that. So this is... Maybe he can change something about this. This seems like a decent stepping stone into something that can work for Kleibrink. Cheung takes the blade. Now he marches. Almost looks kind of French when doing this march. Maybe not quite as fast as the French tend to march. But something about that reminds me of Jeremy Cadeau. Final call is parry riposte off target from the right. 3 seconds left. Don't expect to see too much here. And the period ends. So there we go. We're at our first 1-minute break. Pretty interesting bout so far. You can tell the 2 different styles are very, very clear. There's not too much in the way of adjustments from either of them. I think Kleibrink's decision to start going super long and stepping in and even past Cheung is a pretty good one. Assuming he can do it safely, that is. Cheung is pretty good at the parry riposte from farther away. But if it's close distance, I do favor Kleibrink. The real trouble is, though, can he turn a light on while doing that? Because I haven't seen him do it yet. He's gotten that one stepping in counterattack when Cheung was attacking, but when Kleibrink's been attacking, he got one very nice indirect attack, but with his stepping in attack or remise, has not been quite as successful. So if he can make that work, I think it'll be great, and Cheung will really have to scramble to try and find a solution to it. But as of right now, it's more of a stopgap measure. Cheung is probably going to be fine with him doing that as long as he's not scoring on it every time. And on Cheung's side of things, all he really has to do is try and keep Kleibrink at a farther away distance, and the touches will make themselves happen for him. As they have 7 times so far this bout. Alright, second period begins. Let's see if anything changes. Cheung's still doing that point in line setup, not surprised. Want to keep the distance wide. Kleibrink being a little more opportunistic with that step forward. His advance looked almost big enough that Cheung might want to go for an attack in preparation there. We'll see. I don't think Cheung is necessarily one to try that, but the timing and the distance felt kind of right for it. So you never know, it might be too tempting to ignore. Cheung marches, oh, or not. Stepping in. Oh, yeah. Kleibrink got locked up there. It's always a risk when you're infighting that you get locked up in searching mode and not stepping back or stepping past. Your opponent has all the time in the world to find the target. And again here, it's still touch. That was one action after Kleibrink stepped past. So not only is that stepping in action not scoring from Kleibrink, but now Cheung is scoring on it. So it looks like Kleibrink is going to have to totally retool his strategy that he was working on in the first period. Still not out of the woods yet. If he can get Cheung to march at him really aggressively, I think there's a lot he can do in the ways of counterattacking. But we shall see. Obviously, Kleibrink's not going to be very happy about that touch. Not least of which reasons are... can't talk. But it is 3-8. It's a rough spot to be in for anyone. A miracle could occur, but the main thing is not the score, but the tactics. If Cheung is able to hit Kleibrink on that action, I'm not sure what Kleibrink is going to be able to change to make it work. Okay. Cheung isn't willing to pull the trigger right away. That's another thing. So Kleibrink might try a counterattack very early in Cheung's attack. Breaks in. Okay, gotta get out though. You can see just how much... Oh, Cheung tries to be Miles, but not quite. You can see though just how much, how wide of a range there is for Cheung to finish. From his full extended position to his withheld march. That entire distance is fair game for him to finish his attack. It's very hard for Kleibrink to set something up. And again, Kleibrink's attack stops. Cheung's attack arrives. I apologize. Wow, I cannot talk today. I am quite tired. I had 3 very strenuous days of training just now. Attack from Cheung. Kleibrink tries to close out. No dice. Long attack from Kleibrink. Fails. Takes the blade though. He can try again. That stop it from Cheung precludes it though. He's timing Kleibrink out. It doesn't even matter if it's off target because he's managing to forestall Kleibrink's attack. Okay, that's nice though. So Kleibrink starts with a short attack just to make Cheung keen on starting and then goes for the remise. That's a very nice tactic, but again, he can't find the target as he's stepping past. Again, that stop hit. It's so annoying. Kleibrink's like, okay, I'm going to set this up and then step in. Ah, can't do it because it's a halt. Okay, and Cheung again. Wow, now, I know I said earlier that I think Kleibrink might be better in close distance, but from what I've seen of Cheung, he's very accurate so far. March, and counter time, no. Cheung marches so relaxed that Kleibrink just has to go for the attack in preparation. Cheung takes the blade, but can't find the riposte, and Kleibrink's, I guess, running away remise works? I'm not sure if he hit with the first one or the second. But either way, it was nice. If you can get actions like that, where Cheung is... Okay. I didn't hear any blade contacts, but from the way the blades moved, it kind of looked like Kleibrink managed to find something. Cheung might be arguing that it's para riposte, but if he is, then it's definitely Kleibrink, because it was his speed attack. But we'll see what the referee says. Again, I'm not a very high-level referee. Yes, it's speed attack. Okay. I may be tired, but I can still make some decent calls. Alright, so that was nice. Kleibrink's finding a way back in. Those touches weren't really related to each other tactically, I don't think. Thought about the ducking counterattack, but thought better of it. Always searching for the blade as soon as it's presented to him on the way in. Attack left, off target. Cheung was trying what Kleibrink was doing earlier, and trying to just get him on sheer explosiveness, looked like. Comes out strong. Again, misses the premier post stepping in. God, if these would have worked, Kleibrink would be almost tied with Cheung by now, I think. It's like, it's a good action, it's just apparently not working this time. He's off the strip. He's off the strip. Touch for Kleibrink. Cheung maybe being a little bit too relaxed on defense. Or perhaps he just made a technical mistake and forgot to keep his front foot out there. Either way, it's very hard to deal with Kleibrink's pressure, especially when he's trying to crush the distance that hard. You kind of need a lot of space behind you to deal with it properly. Although Cheung's been doing a great job just stonewalling him at the very end of the strip. Oh, okay. Another twisty counterattack there from Kleibrink. So now things are starting to work out better for him. It's taking quite a long time to set up every touch that he does, but setup aside, it looks very clean. Like, even on that one, Cheung's not too bad at finishing, but he had no chance in that last one. Long attack from Kleibrink to set it up, but does not go for the remise. Cheung marches slowly. Kleibrink maybe feeling a little tired right now. Maybe just trying to lull Cheung into a false sense of security. Maybe both. Cheung marches, and you can see Cheung's tempo change here. Now he's just going at one tempo. But that earlier thing, he made a fast advance, and that bought him, like, quite a bit of space. But as I say that, when Cheung makes these very evenly measured advances, it allows Kleibrink to figure out the right time to counterattack pretty easily. So I'd almost like to see more of that tempo variation on his advances from Cheung. Even that one short fast advance that he did, Kleibrink had no choice but to run away from it. And that's the end of this second period, so we're going to go to 3 of 3. I think it's safe to say that this last period has gone much better for Kleibrink than it has for Cheung. Although Cheung still maintains a decent lead. We're probably going to need to see Cheung change something this time, though. I was totally wrong about my prediction of Kleibrink using that stepping in remise to great effect, though. Cheung has been able to shut it down. But other than that, all the other touches that Kleibrink's made have been pretty broad in terms of tactics. He's gotten some twisty counters, actually quite a few twisty counters. He got one nice beat attack. So I think tactically Kleibrink will still maintain the advantage going into this third period, but we'll see if Cheung can manage to stay ahead. Really, if Kleibrink makes any mistakes, I feel like Cheung is just going to steamroll him. He's been doing a good job so far, but if that last little bit was any indication, he might be getting tired at this point. Chances of that maybe not so high, because this is only the round of 32. There's still a pretty long day ahead of some people in this building, but we shall see. Again, Kleibrink is actually quite a bit older. I think he's 32 now, I want to say. Cheung is 20. So we could expect Cheung maybe to have a bit more energy, a little more springiness in his step. Alright. Kleibrink looks to be playing a fairly... Okay. Yeah, he's keeping things wider now. Still looking for the blade whenever Cheung presents it. That's good. Nice. Counter time? Okay, but can you get away? And stop it. Seals it. Okay. So Kleibrink's not trying to finish long. At least he didn't that time. Or even really finish short. He was just waiting for the blade to be far enough in that he could commit to the full-on parry riposte with a... Well, tactically, it's counter-time parry riposte. But I think Cheung's stop hit is a little too accurate. He's probably more likely than not just going to go off target. Can you infight this? No, you cannot. But no touch, because Core happened. Or maybe they passed, but probably Core. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised Kleibrink has not done that well in close distance. Cheung is very accurate, but Kleibrink is, I would imagine, more experienced with that sort of thing. Oh. That took some work. That looked quite a bit like Kleibrink just deciding, alright, I'm going to hit you. And then pounding out the touch as hard as he could. That was Cheung also kind of scrambling. And like, was not expecting this aggression. Borderline from Cheung. Oh. Kleibrink tries to duck and counterattack, but Cheung has the distance. I think if Cheung started a little bit closer, though, he might have gotten one light. Alright, stepping past is a still kind of safe action for Kleibrink. Maybe safer than the alternative of trying to run away, because Cheung has that massive reach. He can just follow Kleibrink right out and hit him. Oh, Kleibrink hesitates. And in that moment, Cheung strikes. Kleibrink tries to search for the blade in vain at the last second. But yeah, like I said, any mistake Kleibrink makes, Cheung's going to be there. And I think if Kleibrink makes any more, it's going to be very hard for him to come back. Kleibrink opting to switch weapons. That's probably a tactical switch. He wants a little bit of a break to reassess the situation, recenter himself. Try and get some momentum back in this bout. 2 minutes and 8 seconds of fencing left. Yeah, I like Cheung a lot more in this position. Kleibrink taking as much of a break as he can. This might also be, if he's tired, to get a little bit of energy back. He's going to need everything in his tank if he wants to outlast Cheung. But before he can even think about that, he has to score 3 more touches. At least. Alright, point in line from Cheung again. Long finish by Kleibrink, out of distance. Cheung stop hit off target. Withheld attack. Misses the first one. We'll see if he was passed before he scored. Referee's going to look at the video. Honestly, I couldn't tell you there. It was pretty close either way. I would say if he wasn't passed, it would be Kleibrink's touch. Yeah, Cheung's first withheld attack either missed or got parried. So we shall see. What is the call? No touch. Kleibrink cannot be happy about that. That would have been the first time that action actually worked for him, though. Taking a bit more time before getting on guard. That... Tries his very aggressive approach that worked once before, but this time Cheung has more space behind him to work with. And that lets him step back, parry riposte pretty easily. And with this, again. Kleibrink steps in, not ready to finish. He's losing focus at this point. There's probably nothing he can do now. We'll see if he can find a couple more touches, though. Nope. Yeah, after that 13th touch from Cheung, Kleibrink's focus was completely shattered. And there was not much he could do at that point. And we see the new school triumph over the old school. Kleibrink, obviously very well known in the world of men's foil. He won Beijing in 2008. But Cheung is the foilist of the future, as you will. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Sorry I've been super tired. And yeah, stay sharp.